What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode 227. I'm immune to Carter at this point. I have inner focus, and his fake out does not affect me anymore. And whole squad's back. Got the Jay Carter Row show this week.
Are we sure it's 27?
Yeah, 227.
The dodge rolling, the iframes on that Carter distraction attempt was incredible.
It only took like 50 episodes of me opening and having to do it multiple times. It's like when they initially gave the legendary dogs the hidden abilities matched the evolutions, and then in Gen 8 they're like, let's give them inner focus and buff inner focus. So it's Gen 8 for me, and I just got buffed to get inner focus.
Angela, it's Gen 9.
You woke up,
Gen
you
9
locked
for
in.
like a year and a half at this point.
I haven't called Scarlet and Violet Sword and Shield in so long. I'm actually pretty proud of myself over that one too.
Me too. We're all proud of you.
I will 1000% mess that up within the next 2 weeks. Okay, so we have a really fun episode. There's not a tournament to talk about, but so we decided to have like one of our little fun things. Jay, you were the one who came up with it, so why don't you introduce it to the people?
Sure. So this is taken from UDL and RTT. They do a little like side mini game when somebody wants to play, and they call it armpits. And it's basically just you take a 6-letter word like armpit, and then you build a Pokemon team surrounding that. Typically, you do a draft, but since we had to do the podcast and for time, we decided to each go separately and build our own teams, which is a cool thing because it each shows different ways that we get to, different points, but also a lot of the same points. The draft would have eliminated any crossover Pokemon, which we already sent the open team sheet, so we know what each other have built. And there is quite a few crossover Pokemon, which I think is really interesting and it will be fun to talk about for how we end up coming to like the same, idea in different ways. But yeah, so we're going to take that. We're going to play a round robin, tournament with just ourselves. We'll go over each of our teams, and then, get into some playing, have a fun time this week, and get out of here.
So I think the first thing we should do, the word is LRPODS.
That's not
initially
really a word, but
acronym was LRPODS. Thanks, Carter.
Yeah.
Initially,
we
you go.
We wanted to do LRL pods or pod, but having the double L would have made for less enjoyable team building.
Especially,
very
also
limited.
We eliminated the top 50 Pokemon from Pikalytics as well. So like, you're not gonna just see Rillaboom and Lunala.
Well, Lunala
was banned.
What? Lunala was banned. Okay.
No, if Lunala wasn't banned, I still probably would have picked.
I wasn't sure.
I actually, that's a lie. I think I still keep my L pick, but Lunala would have been by far the best restricted, and we can actually, I can share first just so you can just go through some of the options that we had, just going through some of the letters. So for L, Pokemon like Landorus.
I want you to know I had Sheer Force Landorus in my team builder for a while, and then I had to go check the sheet like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, man, I don't see it on here. I'm feeling really good about this. And I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, it's got to be at least like 8% usage.
I think it's like 4.5, and our cutoff is like 1.5. So
yeah,
it was like just under anything under 2, just about 2% usage. I do want to tell you I had a Latios bulldoze into weakness policy Solgaleo team in the builder. That one was ready.
I was really close to bringing Lantern.
Yeah, no.
I was also at one point considering Lantern, brother.
Yeah.
Right?
I had Latios and Latias at one point. I had Lugia in the team builder. I'm like, man,
Yeah, I was looking at
I don't want to do that tonight.
No. If you
I worked 12 hours tonight. I don't want to play Lugia.
I was looking at Lycanroc at one point. At one point I was even like, oh, I'll put Litten on my team.
I had low kicks in the team builder. Just because Tinted Lynn's first impression hits like a truck.
and Sucker
Yeah,
Punch
for sure.
afterwards too. It actually hits hard. I ended up landing on Lurantis for my L. I know Carter ended up with Lapras out of this bunch, and Angelo with his great wisdom of multiple team building partners.
Ooh,
You know,
I'm
gonna
playing
I'm
a
gonna get into
casual
mine.
vent. I'm gonna go team build with 6 other people.
It was like 3.
Regardless.
I talked with, really. And more so, like, we
For
were
the record,
already talking.
I sent Carl the idea of like what we were doing. I'm like, also, here's my team. You can't convince me to change anything.
I mean,
yes, me and Carter each built it while pooping on the company's dime. So we were.
To be fair, I did jack shit today. I run around.
Yeah, you said you were done with all of your
sweeper
work
all day. So
yeah, you said you were done with all your work, and you're like, I have 4.5 hours left. There's nothing.
No. Here's the thing. I got there this morning and had no work to do.
Oh no.
The sweeper was me finding something to do.
Yeah. So for me, like,
Always
I
good
did
time.
have a few ideas, and then just fleshed out some ideas with some friends. Part of team building is doing it with friends. It's fun. Love my guys. And I think L was honestly the first thing I picked. Landers Therian, historically, for close to over a decade now. Every format it's legal in that doesn't have Incineroar, it's the best Pokemon. And for me, I was like, there was no other Pokemon to pick besides Landorus. Like, even though, like, I saw initially Latios and Latios I love Latios, it's one of my favorite Pokemon. That was super interesting. I did look at both Lilligant and Hisuian Lilligant to try to do, like,
Same.
with Sableye, do like some Sun stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, I think once we, like, show the teams proper, you will find that the 2 people who play RTT, including our famous Trash King, get a little more in the weeds, while I am very much the use good Mons guy on this team, and I was like, okay, what's, like, the best Pokemon? How can I make this work? Moving on to R, we get to another one of the restricted options in Reshiram, and this was one that both Jay and I picked.
Yeah.
I think that for the legal restricteds, which were Lugia, Reshiram, Dialga, Palkia, both forms of each.
I'm assuming
Solgal-
Ray was banned, right?
No, I think Ray was legal.
No, Rayquaza was
See,
legal.
I really debated bringing Ray. So just kind of talk about, like, my team building process. I went through all the letters and figured out what restrictions were legal, and then kind of just, like, went off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I started with Solgaleo, and then I ended up kind of coming up with the Reshiram idea later on, and just was like, this kind of seems fun. At the time, I think I convinced myself that Lunala was legal, so I was like, oh, this thing's just going to be all over the place. Like, Angelo's definitely bringing that.
I have a type.
So I was like, Reshiram, no one's going to be really, I don't think that this is going to be a Pokemon that's played. I played it in Secaucus a while back. Thought it was cool, but yeah, I went through the restricted. It was like, oh, this sounds good, this sounds good, this sounds good. Ended up with.
I actually expected Angela to bring Dialga.
So Dialga was the first one in my builder. Like, my first idea actually was a Dialga Rain team, and initially just like I took it. So initially I was like, I'm going to build around Dialga. Then I'm like, I like winning, so I took a step back, and I do like Reshiram a lot. I actually almost bought Reshiram to the same Secaucus tournament as Jay. I made, like, I think if I didn't find the Dialga team, like, the week I did, I was going to lock Reshiram in. So it's a Pokemon I do really like. I've helped a few of my locals. They've been working on Reshiram teams for some, like, of the Thursday night friendlies we have, or even some of the smaller premier challenges. So, like, I've been working with Reshiram, or the idea of it, and, like, it's a really cool Pokemon. It has great stats. You're looking at 100, 120 bulk, 150 special attack. The ability is pretty much a mold breaker. Like, it has a lot of great things. It's just that, like, for VGC as a whole, it doesn't do as much as, like, a Miraidon or a Calyrex or a Terapagos. and I think that's why we don't see it in competitive play at these tournaments. But for something like this, or even like if you're doing a restricted draft, like a Regulation G draft league or something, like Reshiram is really cool. Like this thing can really like put holes into teams that aren't prepared for it. Also, Roaring Mauloon. That's all I have to say about that. Moving on to P.
I think all the Reggies were pretty cool.
Yes,
in R as well.
back at R. Yes, we could. Carter had Reggie Eliki.
Yeah, I had the Eliki.
Yeah.
I
was thinking about Steel or Rock at different points. I had Drago in one of my teams as well.
I really wanted to do Drago, but having 2 dragons on my team already, it felt bad. But also, I'm like, what fairy types are they possibly going to bring to punish triple dragon? And
that's
well,
like, well,
yeah, it's a lot of Terra Fairy, honestly. Like that's kind of the direction. There wasn't a lot of fairy types generally really within our pool, so like Screamtail I think was kind of the big one, which someone ended up with, right?
We did.
Angelo.
Moving on to
it's not Angelo didn't. Angelo's team building group.
Angelo's group.
It was either Screamtail.
Shout out to Jacob Lintner.
Actually, I'm using his exact spread from NAIC.
Imagine that.
2023.
Wow. That's crazy.
I love how we're just shitting on Angelo, but like, you know,
for having friends.
The way he did it was also like incredibly intelligent and like, you know, like building with a group is like the correct way to build. But also at the same time, imagine being a nerd.
Was like, the whole idea of this was like, we don't have an idea to what we should record this morning. Let's hop on and just do something quick. And Angelo's like, all right, I'm bringing in the troops, baby. Let's get in the war room. Let's get ready. Let's lock in. Sorry, Carl.
We're far enough in. Going through the Pokemon and
we can do whatever we want.
Hell yeah.
So for P, like you have Palafin, which initially I was like, oh, Palafin would be cool, and then I just don't know how you do Palafin things in this format at all. So that was like dropped. I know, Carter, you went with Palkia Origin as your restrict if you want to dive.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but base 100s is really good.
Yeah. It blows my mind every time I look at it. Base 120 speed, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Zoomfish.
Yeah, this thing is real sick. I'm very excited to play with it.
Yeah, I think P was like a pretty underrated like letter looking at it. I think that the options are there. They're just not, they don't stick out as far, but there's a lot of really cool stuff. Like I ended up with
that was
Palmot
really cool
on my team with some like revival blessing stuff. But Rabska is really, really cool for the R's. But like Pokemon like Pikachu was something I was even considering Pikachu at different points.
The team builder.
Politoed is another really awesome option, giving you a nice rain mode here.
I had Politoed at one point. Alolan Persian was another one I really like. It's a fake out Mon. You get Fur Coat, which makes it super bulky. You get Taunt. You get. I think you still get Burning Jealousy. I believe you get Icy Wind. Like the Pokemon has a lot of great techs. Alolan Persian in VGC 2017, the regional deck the base deck Sun and Moon format. Alolan Persian was a Pokemon, like a notable Pokemon, because it was this great supportive fake out Mon that the format didn't have. And then, you know, a year later they add Intimidate and Incineroar, and there's no point in using Alolan Persian anymore. There's so many Pokemon that, even like Palmot as a fake out Mon, like that was one thing where I'm building my team. I'm like, I'm just not going to fake out. I'm really not seeing it. I didn't put 2 and 2 together with Palmot. Which when I saw it on your team, Jay, I was like, that's good. That's really, really strong for your team. But
did
it's
Angelo
like,
die for you too, or just me?
Yeah, he hit for a second there for me.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, you're good.
That's weird. Anyways, like as we're saying, like there's all these like fake out Mons that would be really good if, you know, there was no Incineroar.
Yeah, like Berserker's a cool option, as well with Fake Out. I know Angelo landed on
Yep.
Porygon 2 for P, which extremely, extremely strong
Yeah.
option.
I will actually go out and say, like, in general, out of all the Pokemon in this format that we've looked at, I actually think Porygon 2 is probably just generally the best one.
It I
Yeah.
don't disagree. Like Eviolite plus recovery and staying power is really great. Download is an incredible ability. Synchronize also good. Trace also really really good
You can
sometimes.
do
So it's
Terra
like
Blast stuff. Like, I really like this mon.
yeah.
It's, yeah, it was definitely something where I'm like, yep, 1000% I'm going with it. Um, when I was going through Peace, I did land on Politoed initially, because not because I wasn't unsure of I was unsure of where my P was, but also when you look at O, a lot less options.
Yeah, O kind of sucks.
So all of the
Yeah,
Ogerpon, so Teal Mask Ogerpon was legal for us. The other three forms were not. Everything else here was legal, and like initially looking at it for me, it was Overquill, Orthworm, and Ogerpon, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have Swift Swim Overquill with Politoed. Like that was like my idea of where I was going with like my rain mode.
I really wanted an Intimidator. Like that was something I felt
Yeah,
like my team really wanted, was some kind of damage reduction.
yeah. I also built a Swift Swim Overquill, same as Ro did. Yeah, I think that like in theory, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna intimidate and be fast because I really wanted it to do both, but it can't do both. But I
Yeah.
think Overquill, just like the poison dark typing
Mhm.
is incredible, and offensively it does really really well into this
yeah.
format. Into like what's
Yeah,
legal.
base 115 attack stats great. The bulk is solid, especially on the physical side. When you group in the Intimidate, you have base 85, 95 physical defenses with the Intimidate. Your physical attackers are not your opponent's physical attackers aren't really going to be doing anything into Overquill if that's the route that you go. In general, like we just saw it have a very successful NAIC, piloted by Henry Rich, as a mon that not only punished Calyrex outside of terrestrialization, but the Terrafairy CSRs, Terragrass, Cali Ices, they were both threatened by the very powerful poison stab that Overquill could offer. So like that was another one. Um, I know Jay, you went with Oranguru, which is one that I skipped over as well.
Rangaroo is
Yeah,
sick.
I love that Pokemon. My whole idea for like my team was basically Reshiram is really strong. It gets good spread type attacks with Heat Wave. I'm like, why don't I just run like Choice Specs Reshiram and click Instruct over and over again, and just do tons of damage that way. I added, like I said, I have Lurantis, which is something cool that I wanted to say Orthworm. I'm sorry, guys. I did not use Orthworm on my
Boo,
team.
hiss, etc.
Bruno, you can yell at
I
me.
thought I swore
You
you
can
were
yell
going
at
to
me in
use
the
it.
chat. Yeah, you guys can all yell at me in chat. It's okay. Oranguru, like, just it can instruct with superpower and get that stacked up really, really strong. And it just like instructing whatever strong attacker is next to you is really, really a great option, and I thought that was fun. I also think that Okidogi is good in this
Yeah, that
tier.
was one I think everyone. I mean, with me, that was another one I just looked over, and it again, it's a great mon. Talks like guard dog is pretty interesting. We have a lot of like we. It's I do believe. I mean, Carter and I both brought intimidators on our team, so like guard dog would be a great ability for that. You can get really bulky, whether you're doing a set up bulk up set or doing an assault vest set with drain punch. You can get like pretty bulky and pretty hard to remove. I think that is again like I think for me it just didn't fit with what I wanted to do with Reshiram. I'm not sure which restricted I would have gone Okidogi with. Again, for me, it's one of the big things I noticed, like looking for things in this building was redirection. And I mean, I might have missed some, but there were only like 2 like really really good ones for me. And out of the 2, we'll get to the other once we get to S. But Ogerpon Teal Mask was like to me the best redirector with Follow Me, and it's an Ogerpon. It's a good Pokemon. It's just that this Ogerpon isn't as good as the other 3, which are just disgustingly powerful. Going through this, actually, just looking at the top 50 bans, like I knew that it would probably be true just by watching events, but it's crazy that in Reg G, that Cornerstone Ogerpon, which was usually the least used out of all of them, even less than Teal Mask, is the #1 Ogerpon form, followed by I believe it's Wellspring, then Heartflame, which is just not what we're used to with the Ogerpon.
Yeah.
Moving on to D. D, I believe, is the worst. Like
we all ended up with the same Pokemon here.
So with D, let's talk about the Pokemon. Like, so first of all, I initially ended up with Dialga. I think like this, if you are building through like this, probably if you wanted to like min max this, Dialga probably would have been the best Mon for this format, just because the other D like Mons with D aren't that great. Going through some of them that are banned, like we don't get Dondozo, we don't get Dragonite,
we don't get
Ditto, so like a lot of them aren't there. Before we all settled on the same Pokemon, we all went on adventures.
Yeah, I had Dusclops and Darkspawn in the builder.
I had Dusclops, I had the Dunsparce. I had Donphan at one point.
You had Dugong as well, you said.
I also had Dugong. I had Dugong and Delibird. When I brought up Delibird, I was told I need to go to jail. Also, just like looking at the stats, like Jesus Christ, 330 base stats.
RTT champ.
Yes.
Yep. Week 1 MVP.
I had Dugtrio at one point.
Yeah, honestly, the both Dugtrios were probably good.
Pretty cool.
And then like other ones I was looking at, Dragalge is a good Mon, especially in Trick Room. Base 120, only base 90. That base 123 is a special defense. Jesus, only base 97 special attack. You do get adaptability, which I think.
Yeah,
is
but
cool.
No one's setting Trick Room, so who cares?
Yeah.
I mean,
no one is setting Trick Room, Angelo.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to keep our yeah.
Yeah, like Drifblim and Dreadnought, I think, are other notable picks in this D bracket. But we all ended up
Dragon
with
Ball.
Yeah, I feel like Dragon Ball's clearly the best one of these. So
speed, attack, typing, it's all there. And yeah, we all ended up on different ideas of Dragapults, which is cool. Like they're mostly the same. We're running boosting damage item. Double stabs, but Angelo ended up with Choice Band. Carter has Life Orb with Will-O-Wisp. I have Life Orb with Sunny Day, so we all have different options in terms of what we're actually.
To sum up D, I texted actually to Chris. Actually, Dugong kind of works, and the response was no. Use the 600 base stat Mon with an ability that counters one of the best Pokemon of all time, not the Gen 1 pile of dog shit. And I think that's really what this turned into for me. And again, we've been through most of the Mons.
Yeah, we get it. You like anti-fun.
I like good Mons.
Yeah.
I like good Pokemon. I don't like to have a good time.
I like my friends to tell me what to play. Yeah, we get it.
I don't like the friends we make along the way.
Porygon 2 was a friend I made along the way. I do love Porygon 2 from Reg F.
Oh no! One of the best EVLA Pokemon ever is.
It is my friend. You're allowed to have good friends.
Keep going.
Let's get to S.
This is the best one. S is stacked. There are so many good Pokemon.
I had Skeledirge for a long while.
Very deep.
So yeah, we have.
I thought you were gonna.
I really debated it, and then I'm like, man, it doesn't really go with like my rain mode I got going on.
Just be a ghost type.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, I already have Dragapult for that as well. There's just a lot of axes that just didn't fit on with what I was trying to do.
Going through S, you have Sableye, Salamence, Salazzle, you have Sandy Shocks. Going through it, Scizor was legal, Screamtail, Serperior. What else do we have?
Sinistra.
So Sinistra was one of the other S's I've really looked close into. Shiftry, Skeledirge. What else do we have? Slitherwing honestly would be fine here.
Yep.
All of
Skarmory and Smeargle.
Yep, Smeargle wasn't legal.
Oh,
yeah, Smeargle was.
Okay.
I did look at Smeargle, but it was not legal. Honestly, all of the Slowpokes, Slowbros, Slowkings.
Yeah, you'd have Solgaleo as an
Spectrier, Snorlax. Honestly,
Staraptor.
Staraptor, Squawkabilly as an intimidator that you can do. I know it's not the highest HP stat, base 82, but you can do Final Gambit stuff with Squawkabilly. You can also do Final Gambit stuff with Staraptor as well. Suicune,
which is what I ended up with.
Yep,
on my
Swampert,
team.
Sylveon. Like
I had Sylveon in the builder for a minute. Doing
Sylveon actually would have been like hindsight. Sylveon probably would have been amazing. We've mentioned that they're really
Sylveon's goated.
There aren't so when you're looking at building against the restricteds in this format, you have the 2 steel types, and then you have a lot of dragons, and even one of the steels is also part dragon. So being a fairy type in this sort of format is really, really, really good. And there aren't many good fairies, and Sylveon is one of the best fairies of all time. So that would have been a great mon to use. None of us did bring it. This was one where Jay brought Suicune, which, again, that was a Pokemon I looked at. Inner Focus is great. It has a great supporting set with Scald, Tailwind, Snarl. And Jay ended up, not to spoil the set, but going with a setup version, which is very reminiscent, not fully reminiscent of Crocoon, but like that setup lefty Suicune, which is really cool. Carter went with Scizor, and Scizor does one thing, and it does it very well.
He punches really hard, man. That's all I needed to do.
So hard.
Punch.
And so I went with Screamtail. My team, I wanted more support. Doing Encore Disable stuff is really fun. Playing Encore Whimsicott at the beginning of Regulation G has been like a fun thing to do. Just punishing people for clicking Protect when you're playing an offensive team is amazing, because if they do Protect, you just click the Encore button and now they're just locked in and you can ignore a slot. And if they don't click Protect, well, they're getting nuked by whatever massively powerful Pokemon you have. So that was something I really liked with it. And yes, I did. Once it was decided between that was going with Screamtail. You know, when you're friends with one of the best Screamtail players in the entire country, you got to just give him a call.
Angela, do you want to pull your team up and you can talk about it since you're
I'll do bragging about your friends again?
Yeah. Since you're bragging about your friends and how your team all came together, why not bring it up and
so this is what I ended up with. I went with the sets in general. If you like, especially for Landorus Therian, P2, Dragapult, you've seen these sets. These are just the standard VGC sets for Scarlet and Violet. For these mons, the Double Ghost Terra Blast, Terra Ghost Dragapult with Choice Band, the Terra Poison, Terra Blast P2, and the Terra Blast, Terra Flying, Scarf Lando. These are just good mons that do good things. On the other side, I went with a Life Orb Reshiram, 3 attacks Protect, Ogerpon. Initially, I actually had Play Rough over Taunt as another way to try to punish the all the dragons that are in this format. I ended up going with Taunt because I didn't have another way to stop status. And the Screamtail, clicking Howl next to Scarf Lando or Spec or Banded Dragapult is just really, really great. And as well as Ogerpon as well. Honestly, I can click Howl next to P2 and use Terra Blast that way as well. Encore Disable is what I already went through, and Play Rough means that the Screamtail itself, especially after a howl or two, is able to do its own damage. And just putting together the Mons, I am not as Jay and Carter in general. I think are just better and more creative team builders than I am. I in general am very rigid. I try to like that. Was part of the reason why I was looking at like Dugong was because I'm like, oh, I need my fire, water, grass, and that's just something I'm learning and trying to break out of. Also, they just have, I mean, especially Jay has amazing experience with playing with non-standard Mons. The last draft league I played in was our regulation, pretty much what ended up being a regulation D draft league, well over a year ago, the one that Littleroot Lessons did. And so, like, I'm just used to, building Mons because they're good. So part of it was, what are the best Mons? How can I do it? And that was also why I wanted like a sounding board for people, because I know that in general, team building is a weakness of mine. Especially compared to like what you two can put together. See, I'm nice to you two. I'm complimenting you, and I'm just getting shit on.
Deserved. Thank you for the kind words. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. Also, again, like shout out to Chris and Jacob as the two who are mainly giving me things. Specifically, Jacob, thank you for your Screamtail set from a year ago. I will hopefully use it well. Carter, you're next because you're the next person on my tabs.
Okay, so I locked in like Palkia and kind of built around it as like the idea. I really like the idea of, so the original idea was to have Landorus next to Eliki and then click Discharge, and that's why I told you all earlier to remind me that I'm bad. Why the hell does Eliki not get Discharge?
I actually did not know that.
Doesn't get Discharge.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because I'm like, ooh, I can do Lando next to Eliki, and I can spam Discharge, and I can be like Terra Flying, so I can click Earthquake all day, and it'll be next to my Palkia, so I'm going to be like Telepathy, so I'm not going to take damage, and then I have like this Terra Ground Scissor, so I can like dodge the Discharge there, and nope, doesn't get it.
Not allowed.
So I pivoted more to doing like this potential rain setup with Eliki. Having like access to an insanely fast rain dance means that Palkia's Surfs are going to be able to do a ton. Thunder is going to be able to always hit, and Surf next to Lapras means that like I get this like free heal on Lapras if need be. Overquill is just like Overquill things. Angelo figured out today that it gets access to Destiny Bond, which
didn't know that.
Like, yeah, just another like fun piece of little tech. I would not be surprised if this team like crashes and burns, because I feel like my biggest weakness as a team builder is I try to get too cute too often, instead of just playing the good mons when the good mons are available. And this Lapras set is a choice.
Perish song.
I super respect it.
I respect it. I asked you if you need help. I already know the answer to that though. So
like the correct choice is to play like Freeze Dry over Perish song over like Sheer Cold. Or I could click Sheer
What's
Cold.
fun about that?
Yeah, no, like that is the thing where I think, especially in these, like if you want to do like fun formats with your friends, you can run Sheer Cold. Your friends might hate you. If you hit a Sheer Cold against me, I swear to God, I'm getting on the first plane to Kansas City.
Run the dumb stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's
in
cool.
my Inkay Games match this week, my opponent brought Fissure Dozo. So, that was something I had to play around. I think in the two games they brought Dozo, I think they hit one. I think they clicked it like 4 times. So, 1 out of 4 is about what you would expect. So
that's what I'm talking about. Keep clicking your OK.
Yeah, when it works, it's hilarious. But like also hope it works.
As someone who has been on the
culture.
receiving end of the I'm going to click nothing but Oko moves, and then most of them actually, like over half of them actually hit.
Angelo, just know, if you give me an opportunity to click Sheer Cold, I'm going to.
I know. Shout
I
out to
specifically put Sheercold on here to irritate you. I want you to know that.
I know. Shout out to Sticky for being literally the most truthful opponent I've ever had. He stuck to his word.
Oh, it was Sticky?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's who I played this week.
Oh, you played? Yeah, I could have. Okay, if you told me you were playing him, I would have told you that he was going to play Fisher Dozo.
So I think last week on the pod, I told who I was playing. I didn't realize that they had dropped and Sticky had replaced them.
Yeah, because if you said it was Sticky, I would have been like, yeah, I know Sticky. Shout out Sticky.
I also learned that Iron Valiant gets coaching. That was not something I was aware of.
You also didn't know it got wide guard until you gave it to Sticky, and you got a Groudon, and you're like, oh.
Hey, guess what? It's fine.
Wait,
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
You just taunt it, and then it can't click wide guard.
Jay, dive into your team before we get into some sets.
Okay, so my team was basically just built around, like I said before, I was like, oh, Choice Specs Reshiram could be really strong, and you put it next to a Oranguru with Instruct, and you just keep spamming these moves over and over again. So that was kind of the idea around this team. We have Lurantis with the Assault Vest, giving it the ability to do superpower stuff with Instruct, and also just a lot of damage with its other moves. Reshiram Terrifier Heat Wave is kind of the whole idea around it. Just like spam as many spread type attacks as possible. Of course, these two picked the two Pokemon that 4 times resist Reshiram's
Got you, buddy.
moves. So let's see how that comes.
Hit that Draco Meteor.
Pawmont was like an interesting pick where I was like, yeah, do you know what? Like Revival Blessing with like Dragapult in the late game, or with Reshiram, or Lurantis under Trick Room or something could be really cool. And it gets Fake Out and some really good offensive typing. Pulse, just really strong with Sunny Day. And then Suicune, I went with a Calm Mindset with lefties. Terra Fairy, just trying to set up and try to wear you guys down.
I think with you bringing up like in different Instruct things, you can even do Instruct into Calm Mind and just go +2/+2. And really accelerate the setup of Suicune's like setup ability. Like get to the point where you're a turn ahead by doing that. I'm sure you give up whatever move your Oranguru would do, but a lot of the times, like honestly, like the Oranguru clicking Instruct is going to be the useful thing for it to do, and then you can then go into Instruct into getting some damage out there, which. When you're +2 on your special attack, you're actually starting to do a lot of damage with Suicune. So I think that's actually a really cool thing that you're able to do with your team.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited to see how it works.
And with that, we can actually get into some battling. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Who do you want to play, Jay?
You guys pick.
Wait! I have to go back to the thing. Okay, Carter.
I don't. I mean, I'll just play. It's no big deal.
That's
Okay.
no fun. Let's do rock paper scissors. Literally thousands of miles away.
Yeah,
over a screen.
That sounds easier.
Okay. Well. Okay. Who am I looking? Who am I looking for?
I mean, either of us.
Well, what is the username?
Mine is JMcG1010.
Mine is Mr. Missouri 25, like it is literally everywhere, Angelo.
I'll send you a
Perfect.
challenge.
Thank you, Jay.
Actually, yeah, you do that, and if you're doing that on Discord, I'll just pull up from the Discord.
I'm assuming all this is staying in. It'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I don't think Carter's.
I'll drop.
He usually doesn't cut this stuff.
Yeah, we can turn the timer off.
Yeah, we'll play fast.
Can you drop the link?
I'm dropping the link right now. Yep. Get into it.
I know I literally have your team sheet open, but
Yeah, it's easier.
It's out of habit. Hey Jay, what are you doing here?
I'm doing stuff. Angelo, are you in?
Yeah, I'm in. No, I'm
right.
I hate.
You can be like the main commentator.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the main commentator. So we're going to be watching this from Jay's point of view. Not that it really matters. I'm curious to see. So you do have it's the classic Sun versus Rain, a VGC tale as old as time. It's just not the way it's usually told. Two very fast manual setters introduced in Sword and Shield, and here we have the leads. We have Palma and Oranguru versus Eliki and Palkia Origin. So the fake out pressure is immediate. Jay clearly. Do you want me to like say what moves I think you guys are going to make, or is that going to like influence one or the other? Because
yeah, I guess just like go on the state of the game.
yeah, I can go with the state of the game. I will not say what I think Jay is going to do, nor do I think what Carter's going to do. Carter goes for a switch, and Jay goes for a switch as well. The water absorb with Surf Palkia is really great, but Jay still gets up this very safe Trick Room with both. So Palkia's Terra Steel and Lapras is Terra Water. In general, the Superpower Leaf Blade Lurantis isn't a great spot. Lapras goes and protects in front of the Superpower. Great protect by Carter. And Lurantis eats a Spatial Rend. That turn could not have gone worse for Jay.
I think I like this.
So Dragapult goes in, protect for the Palkia. Palkia goes for a Leaf Blade, and Instruct again. That is 2 straight turns where Jay double attacks into the Protect based on Instruct. The Dragapult switch was really great there to punish potential Superpower into the Lapras if Jay wants to try to punish the Mon that just protected. And another protect, and at least we went for a yawn. So we're moving into our last turn of Trick Room. Palkia is drowsy. The Dragapult did protect, and with the sash on Palma, we can definitely see a Revival Blessing. Dragapult, of course, would have to use Dragon Darts to hurt Oranguru because it's the normal type. The Phantom Force will not work. Carter goes for another switch with the Palkia to reset the drowsiness, while
Good lordy!
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
I don't know what I expected, but that was not it. Good golly.
Now, one of the things that Jay can take advantage of here is the fact that he knows that his Oranguru will probably live a Dragon Darts, and, well, I already know. Carter's probably going to press Sheer Cold.
No!
All right.
And it misses, and Dragapult is now asleep.
I really needed
Lurantis is back in Trick Room. Yeah.
Can you imagine how great that would have been?
That would have been pretty nuts if that happened. 30% of the time it works. So now with a sleeping Dragapult and four turns of Trick Room remaining, Lurantis is in an unbelievable spot to do some damage. Switching to Palkia Origin and a knockoff, another Sheer Cold miss, and another knockoff. One of the interesting things to note is that knockoff can't knock off Lustrous Orb, so it is limited on the usual base power. I believe it's base 65 for knockoff into the Palkia. So the first hit actually would have done more for almost any other Mon.
Dang, nice read.
Jay reads the protect for the first time all game.
No, that was more reading the Terra there that really.
I think the double gets you. So I don't think the Terra really would have mattered, but the Terra definitely did not help. So now tied 3 Mons to 3, and Lurantis. Yep, Lurantis is able to punish.
Okay. Another Sheer Cold.
We are 0 for 3 on Sheer Colds.
It'll work one of these times.
And finally, on the last turn of Trick Room, we have the Sleeping Dragapult, and we have Eliki. It is good to note that both Pokemon do have Protect. If the Dragapult does wake up, which it Yeah. So we have
GGs.
the.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I felt so good
Game
after
two.
I got rid of the first trick room.
Yeah. So Jay takes game one. Carter did an amazing job getting through that first trick room, calling 3 straight protects into the instruct plus damaging move. Except I think, at least looking at where it was at, once the palm up was able to just safely bring the Lurantis back with its revival blessing, and the Lapras pretty much had to play the slots, kind of snowballed.
It's okay. It's fine. I hit 0 sheer colds last time. That means I'm going to hit all of them this time. That's how this works.
So the adjustment here is the Lapras Scissor for Carter and the Suicune and Oranguru for Jay. So Oranguru still sticking around, but Jay going for a potential setup mode right in front of this Scizor and Lapras. Or he could set the Trick Room up again. Who can say? Carter right now probably wishes he had Freeze Dry.
Nah, it's sheer cold. It just one-shots the Suicune.
So we go Terra Fairy with the Oranguru, set up the first Calm Mind. This is to eat the U-turn that would have definitely threatened the Oranguru. Switch into Dragapult and Lapras. Oh my god!
No!
Oh my god! Oh my god! He spoke it into existence, folks. He spoke.
It was bound to happen at some
He
point.
spoke it into existence. The drowsy Lapras takes out the Suicune with a sheer cold.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Jay brings in the MVP of the last match, Lurantis. Also burning the Terra on the Oranguru means that Dragon Darts will double hit into the Lurantis, because Dragon Darts is smart targeting and will ignore all protects and fairy Pokemon.
It had to happen.
Oh, I'm
to.
so happy it did.
I'm so happy for you right now. I've never been happier to be on that side of a.
Carter hits the Will-O-Wisp
Dang.
and is now 1 for 2. While the burnt superpower doesn't do too much damage into Lapras, who now falls asleep as Oranguru sets the Trick Room. Dragapult in a great spot. That was a great burn on it. Even though the Lurantis is now at +1, its overall damage output has been severely mitigated by this burn. So Dragapult goes Terra Dragon. Superpower into Instruct. Into the Lapras to pick up the KO. Crit. And Dragon Darts, oh my god, the
there
crit!
It is. There it is.
Again, he speaks it into existence and picks the KO with the burn.
Okay. Alright.
Jay now
I'm
down
so
to
sorry, buddy.
Jesus.
It's alright, man. It happens.
Jay
sometimes.
now down to his last
like
2
that.
Pokemon. Carter.
It's all good.
Takes out the Oranguru with the Bullet Punch. Burn on the Dragapult, who then Dragon Darts into Dragapult and Scissor. It looks like Scissor's in a great position to
Good
clean
golly,
up.
that does so much.
That's what we're here for. All right, that's what
we're here for the content, and my god, is it good content.
And we are going to a game 3.
I will say that might be the luckiest I've ever been in my life.
How far is the horseshoe up your butt? Like is it just like kissing your colon?
Man.
You said it. You said my plays just take out.
If it works, colon. It's great, and if not, well.
So the question is...
I don't have a good answer to exactly Oranguru. Like, the fact that your Trick Room setter is exactly Oranguru is a big problem.
Well, so Jay just leads with the big guns. Reshiram's first appearance, who left his restricted mon in Game 2 at home, is just leading off with it. Reshi leading into
It's here.
Scizor and Lapras is huge. Bullet Punch into
That is
Sunny Day
insane for the record.
and Heat Wave. Jesus God Almighty!
Dang.
And it misses.
Could you imagine
Palkia's
if it
in
would
now.
have hit though?
So Jay with a very, very dominant turn 1, even though the Dragapult took a lot of damage from Bullet Punch. It got the Sun Up, and Reshiram is in prime position to just do so much damage.
Oh, you are choice specs. What to do? What to do? I don't feel good about this turn.
So Jay goes Terra Fire.
Yep.
Dragon Darts into both Mons, doing a lot of damage to Palkia. Palkia Spatial Rends the Dragapult to take it out.
Reshiram.
And then Reshiram... So Palkia still lives the Heat Wave, but the Heat Wave does take out Lapras after the Terra Water. Palmot comes in, threatening with Fake Out pressure, while Carter is on his last 2 Mons, so 3% Palkia Origin, and his Dragapult. The Terra Fire is a great move by Jay to take away the Dragon weakness in front of these 2 Dragon types that could have really given Reshiram a lot of trouble.
Yep, that's going to be annoying to deal with.
So Jay clicks Heat Wave again as Carter protects and goes with the Phantom Force to avoid damage for this turn, stalling out turn of Sun, while Jay goes and takes advantage of the passive turn and gets a Revival Blessing up. Phantom Force is a little over half, and with the Spatial Rend takes out the Reshiram.
Okay.
Double Shock. Double Shock goes and finishes off Palkia. It is now Dragapult against the world, with a Dragapult of Jay's own coming out. I do believe that this is a speed tie. Oranguru switches in.
No way, you win the speed tie again! Oh my god, he wins the speed tie again. That's crazy.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So now it's
because you won them in the last game.
That's
too.
insane.
That is
so
crazy.
Dragapult winning the speed tie. Like, Carter might be able to pull this out with the Dragapult. Dragon Darts does a healthy amount of damage into both Mons, while Double Shock does 39%.
Double Shock into
a Yawn.
Oh, Yawn.
Now, Double Shock does take away the electric typing of Palma. I don't believe Double Shock...
How do you kill me?
I don't
can't,
know.
Right? You have no way of hitting my Dragapult now?
No, I don't.
Okay, so we are...
This game was insane.
Yeah, this one's over.
I don't think I deserve to win
That's
this,
crazy.
But, you know...
Game 2, definitely not.
I lost a speed tie. Speed tie.
Speed ties happen.
Is what it is. I lost speed ties in game 2 as well, which made me think, oh, you're slower than me. Nope, that did not happen. So,
oh my lord, that was insane.
Yeah.
GG's,
that
dude.
was absolutely nuts.
GG's. Yeah, you beat me on 2 speed ties last game.
So
were they both important? I don't remember.
Not really. Once you hit the Sheer Cold, it was kind of over, but you hit it into my Dragapult. I mean, I had no way to deal with your Scissor in the end game, but yeah. GG's. I had it. I thought I was maybe faster. I'm not. All right, Carter gets another game with Angela now. Now I get to.
Now you get to call it. Let me go here.
I get to commentate.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Find user.
Dang, I thought I had that whole entire
I know. I just
game 2 so ready. I was like, oh, I'm gonna click Calm Mind and yawn. He's gonna miss the sheer cold.
Does Double Shock work if you instruct it?
I don't know.
I don't think so. It didn't matter.
I mean, if it did, you could have KO'd me, but like.
Well, you knocked me out before I even had the opportunity.
No, the turn that you hit it, you could have, but you went for the yawn.
Yeah, my mistake in that game was clicking Double Shock into Palkia instead of Close Combat into Palkia.
Yeah.
Okay, even though we have the open sheets, except open team sheets, so actually, Jay, let me drop this for you. Yeah, just make sure we click open team sheet so Jay can just hover over each mon and know what they can do. What do I want to do into this team?
All right, I'm saving my replays right now. So,
man, what do I want to do? Your team's annoying. I want you to know that.
I'm sorry, I like good mons.
We're all sorry.
I think I do this. Yeah, let me try this.
all right, so here we go. We got Angelo playing against Carter here. Angelo is going to lead the Screamtail plus the Dragapult into Carter's Overquill and Lapras. The Intimidate is going to go off, not affecting the Dragapult, and it's going to be a booster speed on the Screamtail. So we just got off 5 minutes ago from watching Carter's Lapras sheer cold my Suicune off the face of the earth. Will Lapras repeat here, or will it use some of its other toolkit, such as the Helping Hand? What will the Dragapult look at? What will Screamtail look to do, given that it's mostly supportive? I'm going to keep talking to annoy the heck out of these guys while they try to make decisions. And that's going to be amazing. Angelo switches into Landorus. Intimidate goes off into Overquill and Lapras. A Howl to raise up.
Get God.
You
Landorus.
bitch!
The sheer cold hits! The sheer cold hits! He does repeat it. Angelo is now also understanding the pain that I was in. Getting the exact setup that he wanted.
Never not funny.
He got everything he wanted. Intimidate on the Overquill, the Howl boosting into the Choice Scarf Landorus, but he did not account for the sheer cold Lapras. Once again, the MVP. Aqua Jet doing very little into Screamtail. Disable into the Aqua Jet as a Dragon Darts comes out. Does decent damage into both and a sheer cold miss on the Lapras here. Wonderful gameplay we're watching here. Encore and disabled into Aqua Jet for the Overquill. Not gonna like that. Sheer cold hits once again!
I hate you so much.
Get out of my life.
I hate you so much.
Somebody stop this man.
I hate you so much.
Somebody stop him.
I
Oh my gosh.
Should have disabled the Lapras.
We're about to watch Carter walk out of here 2-0 with sheer cold Lapras running the field. This is crazy.
Disabled the Lapras.
Overquill unable to move. Unable to do anything this turn. So will we be seeing a switch out? Will we be seeing a struggle? Who knows? I believe we're going to see something from this Lapras here.
That's
a Terra Water disabled. Struggle comes out, does very little, KOs the Overquill, Fusion Flare into Lapras, which is going to survive. And it is going to perish Song!
We're playing that game.
Oh, man. Carter pulling it out, sees the 4-2 advantage, clicks Perish Song in the eyes of disabled Screamtail. That was brilliant. What you love to see on any given Sunday night from people playing Pokemon. This
might be the stupidest team I've ever built. I want that to be known. It has no reason.
Terra Fairy the Reshiram, double protect as the Encore comes out. Draco Meteor into the Dragapult. We know that Carter still has a Pokemon yet to be seen in the back, and now we are going to see it. It is going to be the Scissor. The Scissor comes out. Double Protect comes off.
Yeah, that's
Scissor
that's
survives.
I already know it.
And this is more than likely just going to seal the game for Carter here. The Perish turns, winding down, Dragapult with Protect in the back.
Dang,
Carter
I missed the triple.
Found his out, but it's okay. Scissor gets the KO on the Reshiram after the Terra anyway. And that is going to be a game 1 win for Carter after hitting 2 sheer colds.
I'm getting like Nom flashbacks right now.
Nearly 100% of Carter's damage was done by sheer cold Lapras. The other 20% done by Overquill, and then the other 80% done by Scizor into the Reshiram on that last turn with 75%.
Angelo, what did I
let's
tell
move on
you?
to game number 2 here.
No, you were absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
How will Angelo look to counter this move? I wonder. How will Angelo play around this? Will he just say, do you know what? I played perfectly that game 1. I had my setup perfect here. Everything was great. I just got hit by 30% rolls twice. We are going to see the Dragapult and the Screamtail against the Lapras and the Overquill. So same leads as last game. Same leads. Let's see how this is maneuvered by our coaches. Will we see something similar? Will we see the Switch plus Howl combo? Will we see the Overquill look to start staking its claim? Dragapult has some very great options as well, such as the choice banded U-turn or such, but it's just going to be a switch into the Landorus. The Howl is going to go up. Angelo say, I am putting my bet on this play. And the sheer cold hits again! You cannot make this up, folks. You cannot make this up.
I hate you so fucking much.
Angelo just has to look to the sky and wonder what he did wrong on this given Sunday. Did he not go to church this morning and give a good praying, or whatever Angelo's theological beliefs lead him to do on any given day to believe in good luck and good fortune? Not today, though. Obviously, Angelo did not do whatever that is and is instead getting hit 3 out of 4 times by sheer colds. That is a 75% chance on a 30% chance move.
75%
so, Carter well overstaying his sheer cold welcomes tonight. That is 4 sheer cold KOs.
Damn.
Count them up.
Can't hit if
misses on the Phantom Force. But Scissor is in here for the Overquill. Obviously not loving to stare down this Reshiram, but Dragapult in Phantom Force. It is away. It is saying, I am not going to get hit by sheer cold this turn. And that is awesome. Definitely what you want to see if you're a Dragapult. Definitely what you want to see if you're Angelo at this moment in time. I said that he knows my pain. He did not know my pain. His pain was much worse.
That's fine.
Overquill has taken leave of
Carter!
the match. And sheer cold hits once again.
Oh my god! How
Oh my
I can't be mad. I can't be mad. I legitimately cannot be mad.
Absolutely, in all levels, outrageous. This is unheard of. That Carter is just mere turns away from walking out of this game with a 2-0 victory in our round robin by just clicking sheer cold on Lapras over and over and over and over and over again. So Screamtail, I'm going to be missing that play rough into the Dragapult. Because of the Phantom Force, Lapras is going to protect. Very interesting to try to protect against some moves, but now it has the potential to be Encored, which Screamtail actually survives. Dragapult goes down. Now we have Lapras, who is Encored into protect, and Scissor against Screamtail and Reshiram. So Reshiram is very low, but a 4 times super effective Fusion Flare may definitely do the trick into the Scizor. So
Yep, that picks
Bullet
up.
Punch
That
isn't
picks
enough,
up.
Oh,
though.
that's
Good game.
awesome.
Punch is
Good game.
certainly gonna be
I
enough.
absolutely hate you. You
Wow.
belong in Guantanamo. Good game.
Carter just walked out of here doing probably close to 70% of his damage with sheer cold Lapras, absolutely stealing games from the clutches, and now we get to move away from sheer cold tomfoolery, and me and Angelo
I was
now
really
get to play against
skeptical
one
of this
another.
being a good episode. Like I like the general idea I really liked, right? But like after I built my team and everything, I'm like, man, this is gonna be rough content. Like people are not gonna like watching this, but this is what we signed
the
up
best
for.
content. This is.
I mean, like, I think the best part for our viewers, I don't know what I have an idea what my face looks like. I think my face when I lose the 2 Pokemon, because like I think what you said, Jay, like I felt relatively confident with the plays I made in game 1.
I don't have a good Landorus answer.
I feel like if you literally just don't if you don't lose, like if I don't lose the my Landorus both times on turn 1, and I just can say, okay, I'm now going to go like Terra Flying and just click
+2.
Yeah, +2
after another Howler.
And then I'm just going to start clicking like +2, whether it's +2 Terra Blasts, or what I was actually thinking was for my side of RNG +2 Rock Slides, and just try to get some flinch chances. I feel like I could have like really rolled. Yeah, no, that the sheer cold Lapras is the MVP of today's episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Like mine and Angelo's final match here doesn't even mean anything.
It does
at this
not.
Point, like after what we just witnessed, but we're gonna play it anyway, and it's in your
Angelo, you want
to
stop sharing your screen so I can share mine?
Well, I shared mine last time as well, but do you want to share yours?
I mean, I guess it doesn't actually matter. I can just commentate off of your side.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's.
Yeah, you can send me the challenge.
Okay.
Angelo.
Oh, this was.
It's just. Is it 10 or 10-10?
10-10.
10-10. Yep. Incredible, wonderful stuff that we were seeing today.
It is. Like this is fun, but at the same time, just like straight to prison.
The fact that it was the Landorus both times on turn 1-2 is what makes it.
And
fantastic.
then like getting the Dragapult as well. Again, make sure that you click the team sheet too. So
yep, Carter, I sent you.
I haven't pulled up. I'm good.
Okay.
I guess I don't need to look at mine anymore. Guess we can say goodbye to Lapras for a minute.
I'm saying goodbye to Lapras for.
Oh. So we have the Reshiram battle here. The double dragon duo on both sides is really interesting. I do think that Angelo having access to Screamtail does mean something. Just having like the single fairy type between these two teams, I think, is important. Like native fairy, Jay does have two. It looks like 2 different fairy options when it comes to Terra as well, between Suicune and Oranguru. So being able to mitigate and like have that immunity seems really important here. Angelo also does have the Ogerpon, which we haven't seen in either game. But like, you don't really want to intimidate down the Lurantis with the Landorus here. So like that's something you really want to avoid. The the Revival Blessing here from Palmont that we saw in 2 of the 3 games that Jay and I played. Revival Blessing is really impactful. Just being able to have like a 5v4 means that it's that much harder for your opponent to be able to take them out. Additionally, we do have the multiple forms of speed control here from both of our players with Porygon and Oranguru. So really being able to try to balance out that aspect of this game is also going to be important. I do think that Jay is better suited to play under Trick Room, just because we do have that Lurantis. And I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but I do think that I could see Jay's Reshiram being more of the on the bulkier side, and therefore being a little slower, just to try to abuse that Trick Room a little bit more. Just because, unfortunately, you're never gonna like underspeed the Oranguru, but our players have started, and I have missed quite a bit already. So we've had Trick Room go up thanks to a Rangaroo. Heat Wave missed the Dragapult thanks to a Phantom Force. And Screamtail did...
I forgot how Encore works.
You forgot how
Yep.
Encore
Nope, that
works.
should have been a Howl. Yeah, that was supposed to be that definitely should have been a Howl.
I'm assuming we tried to Encore the Rangaroo.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. Under Trick Room, I do think, like I was saying, that Jay is probably favored here.
Oh, that was not.
No, neither of us are clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, we're not all here.
60% from Phantom Force into the Reshiram is, I mean, pretty significant damage, especially since, you know, it is at full HP, seeing how it dodged the first Heat Wave on turn 1 and was able to dodge the second one here on turn 2 as well. But we do see a bunch of dragons and a fake dragon, basically. A Rangaroo's basically a dragon, right?
A Rangaroo can be a dragon, yeah. Why not?
Yep.
Fusion Flare coming out doing just over 50%. Going to do a little bit of chip thanks to that Life Orb. Heat Wave does connect, and another Phantom Force does come out. So, Citrus Berry is gone off of the Rangaroo. So the HP that it has is all that's left for it. Jay has went ahead and burnt his Terra that we've talked about. We're going to see an Instruct here, go for another Heat Wave, which unfortunately the Reshiram dodges. Draco Meteor is going to come out, do just enough to pick up the Rangaroo. Another Heat Wave is going to come out from the Reshiram. A little bit of damage into the opposing Reshiram, and the Phantom Force is enough to pick it up. So now, one turn of Trick Room left. We have Suicune and Lurantis out here. Unfortunately, it is at the cost of being down 4-2 Mons here, with about half HP Screamtail on the back, and we have a Reshiram that's asleep here. Porygon 2 is going to come out here for Angelo. It's going to get that special attack boost off the download, and unfortunately, it's going to immediately lose its Eviolite thanks to the Lurantis knockoff. Reshiram is going to take its first turn of sleep as Suicune gets to set up its Calm Mind here. So, being able to boost that special attack and special defense means that in front of these two special attackers, getting that special defense boost is going to be really important. Reshiram is going to continue to snooze. Scald is going to be enough to pick up the KO here. Ice Beam does just about 50% into Lurantis, and unfortunately, not enough to either pick it up nor gets the freeze here. So we are going to see a superpower go into the Porygon 2. Honestly, a lot of damage, but the big call to Porygon 2 is having that extra bulk thanks to your item, and without that Eviolite, you really don't take hits all that well. Dragapult is going to come out here for Angelo, and honestly, Angelo's team is taking quite a beating here already. All of his remaining Pokemon here at below half HP. We're going to see the Terra Ghost for the Dragapult. Scald is going to be enough to pick up the KO into the Porygon 2. Knockoff is going to go into that Dragapult, but thanks to that Phantom Force, is going to dodge that hit. Phantom Force comes out, hits into the Suicune, doing about 60%. Scald is going to connect, pick up the Dragapult. And that Howl is not going to do anything for the Screamtail, so we're going to see game number 1 here go to Jay. So now, as the players are getting ready for game number 2, I think that Jay's plan here of try to get Trick Room up, just have that form of speed control is very impactful for him. So we could see an adjustment here come out from Angelo, trying to prevent that Trick Room from going up, possibly leading the Porygon 2, trying to anticipate that read. Could also see just trying to go for a more offensive lead here, something like Reshiram plus the Dragapult possibly, or Reshiram plus like Landorus, just trying to do as much possible damage into the Rangaroo, trying to prevent it from getting to do its thing immediately. As we see Landorus and Ogerpon here for Angelo into a Rangaroo and Reshiram. Now, here's the thing about that Ogerpon. It probably doesn't like seeing the opposing Reshiram here, right? But Reshiram is really threatened by the Landorus here, so this turn is going to be rather interesting. But if Jay wants it, this seems like an okay spot to go for a Trick Room. we're just going to see the Oranguru get taken back. Landorus, Lurantis coming in to replace it. Stomping Tantrum doing about 70% into the opposing Reshiram. As a Heat Wave connects, bring Ogerpon down to its sash, and bring the Landorus down into the red as well. Making up for the one turn of double miss last game. So going to see a Follow Me here. Going to see a Stomping Tantrum take out the Reshiram. Superpower is going to be obviously enough to take out the Ogerpon, get that attack and defense boost into the Lurantis. As we see a few more Pokemon coming out here for our competitors. Porygon 2 is on the field as well as the opposing Oranguru here for Jay. We have a really low HP on this Landorus, locked into a Stomping Tantrum, so we could see it either stay in, try to pick up some decent damage into the Oranguru, or, as we see here, 40% into the opposing Oranguru. Instruct is going to be enough to pick up the Landorus. Good lord, too many L's. As we see that Superpower pick it up, we are going to see the Terra Poison Terra Blast go into the Lurantis, doing honestly a lot of damage next to that special attack boost off the download. And then the follow-up Superpower, not going to do a ton thanks to that resistance. Fusion Flare comes out from the Reshiram, picking up the Oranguru. Terra Blast is going to come out, pick up the Lurantis. And we are down to a 1v2 with a Suicune and a Dream. This turn's really difficult. In my position, like if this was me, I think I don't like giving Suicune an inch here, just because we do have access to Calm Mind on the opposing side, as we have, two special attackers here. So, like, instinctively, my thought is try to do as much damage here as possible. Earth Power comes out, gets a special defense drop. Calm Mind comes out. We are going to get that special attack boost, bring our special defense back to neutral. Terra Blast doing approximately about the same as another Earth Power is enough to bring in the KO. And just like that, we are going into game number 3.
I can't. This is bad. I couldn't remember. Did you Terra that game?
No.
Okay, yeah, because that's why I ended up going with Earth Power, because I was like, okay, if I can try to call the Terra and go with like the more, yeah.
I think regardless, Earth Power is probably your best move there.
Yeah, it's just that's why I was like, okay, this is just going to hit neutral and I can play to the Terra.
Oh, commentating solo is so much more difficult.
Having
no color commentator here to be able to like bounce off of the play-by-play is so much more difficult. Game number 3 here for our players. We're going to see Landorus and Screamtail come out for Angelo, and Reshiram Oranguru here for Jay. The booster energy is going to give that Screamtail its photosynthesis boost for its speed. We do know that the Landorus is Choice Scarf here, so we should easily outspeed with both of our Pokemon here on Angelo's side. The question is do we try to deal with the Oranguru, or do we try to deal with the damage-dealing threat here of Reshiram? Do we want the speed control, or do we just want to do...
I almost called it.
Al is going to come out here. Stomping Tantrum comes out into the now Lurantis as Trick Room goes up for Jay. And now we have a Lurantis under Trick Room with pretty significant health into 2 Pokemon that are definitely going to get outsped by it. Reshiram is going to come in for the Screamtail here. We're going to see a Leaf Blade go into the Landorus, but thanks to that Terra Flying, it's going to be a resisted hit, followed by the Instruct, so we're going to see about 50% into the Landorus this turn. Stomping Tantrum is going to do just enough into the Oranguru, so it gets its Citrus Berry here, but a follow-up Stomping Tantrum should be enough to take out the Oranguru here for Angelo. No boost on the Lurantis means that it's not looking great here. We're going to see a superpower into the Reshiram. Going to get that +1 into attack and defense thanks to that contrary ability. Going to see a Yawn go into the Reshiram, so it should be taking a nap next turn depending on what Angelo wants to do here. It's either going to have to switch out or that Reshiram is going to be taking a nap for a couple of turns. Porygon did come in this turn. It is going to get that attack boost off its download, so not the best here, but it is what it is. Reshiram rejoins the field here as we see the dueling dragons here for our players. That being said, one of them is built to be played under Trick Room, and the other one is sitting next to a Porygon 2, I guess, is the best thing I can say about it right now. Angelo is thinking long and hard about this turn. We see the Terra from Jay come out here on the Reshiram. Going to be...
Oh, man.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, that's really bad. Oh, that's really bad. Is that...
God damn it! I mean, I knew it was going to happen.
Well, here's the Palmbot that I'm assuming, based on that reaction, Angelo is not too happy to see.
I mean, everyone here knows exactly what's going to happen.
You're going to be sad. Yeah.
Yep.
What happens if you Revival Blessing and then Instruct? Does it fail?
Struggle.
Because you don't have...
I believe you fail.
Interesting. Oh, Revival Blessing does come out, so now we have a Reshiram in the back for Jay again. Interestingly, the turn that Jay's Reshiram went down, Angelo's Reshiram actually undersped it inside of Trick Room, so it was able to actually get that attack off first, which is actually really important to note. Close Combat does come out into Reshiram, but thanks to the Intimidate coming out from Landorus, not going to be enough to pick up the KO. As Reshiram just continues to sleep, and a Rankaroo goes for a Trick Room here. And just like that, we're kind of back in the same position we were. But, now there's a Landorus that is not a ground typing, for that double shot to be able to pick up the KO. And now we have Porygon 2 and Screamtail out against a -1 attack, -2 defense, -2 special defense Palmot that is not an electric type. That is a lot of modifiers on that Palmot. And a Rangaroo here. Terra Blast is going to come out, going to be enough to pick up the KO into the Palmot before it ever gets a chance to attack. As a Yawn goes into Porygon 2 to make it drowsy, and with no additional Pokemon in the back, it's going to be kind of hard to prevent the sleep this turn. Reshiram does join the field for Jay once again. Terra Blast going to do about 20%.
Oh man, I did it
No,
again.
the Instruct fails. Play Rough is going to be enough to pick up the KO into the Reshiram.
Okay, hold on. Not
No,
over.
it's
over.
We have a
It is
Sleepy
not
P2
over.
and the really low HP Screamtail. Porygon sleeps for a turn. We're going to see a Yawn come out. Disable the Yawn.
No, this one's over. Dang it. Yui, why are you jumping on my laptop? She's showing her butt to the
Yui.
world. Oh no. Get over here.
Hold on. Hold on! You can get like a super crit.
Come on. I need a full 3-turn sleep. I need you to miss Terra Blast. I need you to
Actually, I think a crit there would have been enough.
I think a crit might have been enough. Yeah, good game.
Oh, really, really fun set from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. All right, that is our little round robin tournament. I have come in last. Angelo has come in second, and Carter has.
Lapras
come in
really
first,
won me the tournament. Let's just put it like that. Can I put this on like my tournament roster now that I won a 3-man tournament?
Sure.
If you want to, you can say you won the LRL pod. The LRL.
Oh, you already have
pods,
them. Okay, Jay, that you have them.
Yeah, I got them ready.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is. I mean, any the final thoughts of this? I thought this was a lot more fun than I thought it was really going to be. Very much worth the long episode. I think it shows two things. Even if you look at the specific mons, I had some of the better mons, but the MVP of the day was Lapras.
I think the big takeaway, if you wanna call it that, is play to your outs.
Yeah,
I didn't have an answer to Landorus, and my answer was just simply sheer cold it twice.
Yeah, and part of that for me was I thought in most cases you see an ice type you can't bring it, yada yada yada. I'm like, I can bring it because this scary ice type, it's only going to hit 30% of the time. And in the grand scheme of things, whether it was you could have literally had just any other ice type attack. And
100%. Landorus, like dies. I said, the original idea was that should have been freeze dry, right?
Yeah.
But, we're here for a good time, not a long time. Well tonight it's a little bit of both, but
I was going to say none of my Pokemon against you were around for a long time. They were Landorus was around for no time.
Landorus tried his best.
Yes, and it did do very well against Jay's team. Sorry, Jay.
It's all right. It was a fun tournament.
The sets.
Each of our games were really close, and I mean, I definitely cooked on mine a little bit. I was certainly in the kitchen getting chefed up. I mean, I definitely didn't cook up, sheer force. I mean, a sheer cold Lapras, but I had Lurantis, I had Palmot, I had a Ranguru, I had Suicune. I had some interesting picks, and I think that
the Suicune was
matchup wise
also very terrifying. My answer to it is just hit a sheer cold.
Yeah, I was
my matchup into both of your teams. I think was really poor because my team was like, hey, let's click Choice Specs Heat Wave over and over again. I really couldn't do that consistently against either of your teams. And you know what?
What was the speed? I'm curious. How much speed did you put into your Reshiram?
None. It had 12.
So Jay, that was a speed tie because I put 12 into mine as well.
No way.
So I was in. Yeah.
The real lesson from tonight is just be lucky.
Yeah. No, that literally
because that's so many speed tie losses. Angelo got all the sheer colds, and I got one of them, and I got one of the speed ties, and I got a bunch of the speed ties. No one got any of them.
Yeah, you did. I no.
I think so.
So
too.
you did win one speed tie against Carter because that's how I knew. Cause when I was calling,
I get one of them.
That's how I knew. I'm like, okay, they're just speed tying. You guys always would have been faster than my Dragapult because I was adamant. So there would have been no speed tie.
I was literally so disheartened from bringing it because of what happened in game 1 with Carter. I was like, "Your choice band, you gotta be max."
No, I'm. So even in tournaments, a lot of I know the Dragapult that won Worlds last year was an came in second last year, on Michelle's team. That was an adamant. A lot of the Dragapults there are adamant because it's weird to say that the choice band base 120 attack mon, once you start bringing in a lot of the really good mons, base 120 actually isn't enough, and you kind of need to be adamant to pick up the KOs, even with the band.
Also, Scizor was Scizor.
Yeah, Scizor did a lot of damage. Yeah. I wasn't.
Every choiced itemed Pokemon besides Scarf Landorus.
So the Scarf,
it was fine. It was fine in my matchup. It obviously did what it was supposed to do, but that was supposed to be a highlight Pokemon, and it just
I came so close to locking in Choice Scarf. I came so close to locking in
Terraflying
on turn 1 of game 3, and in the back of my head, I'm like, if I get this call wrong, I'm reading too much. I should have went. I won the match. If I went with my gut there, it's a lot different. But then you get the Reshiram back in for free, and my Lando isn't I'm still at a position where I'm not doing as much into it.
And hopefully in Trick Room and able to yawn something. Yeah, I think the plays where I wasn't clicking yawn and instead clicking instruct because I forgot about speed tiers. Definitely.
Or even like me, like I mess up Encore the first time because I just forgot how it worked.
Well, we were having fun. The boys were enjoying ourselves. We were having a good time.
Yeah, no, this was great. But yeah, Jay, take us out.
With that, thank you all so much for watching. Let us know what team you would have used with the acronyms LRPODS outside of the top 50 on Picolytics. Drop those in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Make sure you come and check out the Twitter at All Our Lessons. Come hang out in the community Discord with us, and check out our Patreon and Discord supporters links. And with that, that has been our round robin tournament. This has been a really good time. Shout out to UDL RTT and the Armpits for the idea. And I hope that you all are happy for inspiring this week's tournament podcast tournament. And we'll see you all next week. Peace out.